I went through every SAT practice test, every question, and what I found will shock you. About half of the SAT math section can be answered with Desmos. In this video, I'm going to show you some Desmos cheat codes that will get you scoring a 700 or higher in no time. So the first type of question you can answer really easily with Desmos is the single variable equation solving questions. So look at the equation on screen here. All I have to do is just go into Desmos, type it out. So it's going to be x squared over 25 equals 36. And then look how cool this is. It'll literally just tell you the two solutions to the question, to the equation. And since 30 is the answer choice, we'll just put in 30. So you literally, anytime you get one of these, just type it in and it'll tell you the answer. So Desmos can also be used to answer word problems. We just have to set up the equation first. So in this scenario, we have 9 storage bins. We use a coupon for $63 off, and the final price is $27, and we're asked to find the price of 1 storage bin. So let's set up an equation for that. We'll do 9 times the price of the storage bin, 9x, subtract the 63 for the discount, and set it equal to 27. Now, we could do this by hand pretty easily, but let's put it in Desmos because that's even easier, and we know Desmos won't make a mistake. So if I go over to Desmos and type this in, we have 9x minus 63 equals 27, and then if you look on here, we'll be told by Desmos that the final answer is 10. Systems of equations are honestly just as easy as the single variable ones. All you have to do is just go to Desmos and type them out. So if we go here and we type out the equations, the first one is 24x plus y equals 48. And then the next one will be 6x plus y equals 72. So it's going to generate 2 linear equations, and all we have to do is just zoom in and see where they intersect. So the question asked for the y value, so all we'll have to do is just put in 80, and that is our answer. If you get a question like this, you should be really happy because in the Desmos era, these are super Mickey Mouse. So what you're gonna do is just literally type in all the answer choices, and then you're just gonna see which one doesn't touch the x-axis. So this one does. It has 2 solutions because it touches the x-axis twice. So we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna put in B, see what happens here. Minus 14x plus 49. Yeah, it touches once, so it has 1 solution. So that's not going to be it. Let's put in answer choice C. That'll be 5x squared minus 14x minus 49. That touches twice. So we know the answer is going to be D just by process of elimination. But I want to show you guys just to be safe. So we're going to put in 5x squared minus 14x plus 49, and what do you know? It does not touch the x-axis at all. And then an alternative way you could do this problem, because remember I taught you guys how to solve single variable equations. Well, if you change this to a single variable equation, remember it's going to tell you the answer with the vertical lines. Well, if I do that here, what do you know? It has no solution. So whichever way you feel more comfortable, you can tackle this problem, but either way, it's the same thing. So if you're unlucky, they might ask this type of question in a much more difficult fashion. As you see here, this is question number 27 from Module 2. So this is what College Board thinks was the hardest question from that exam. So if you get one of these with these constants, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to type in the equations as they come, just like we've done before. So we're going to graph it. As you see here, I graphed y equals negative 2.5. And then I'm going to graph the quadratic, y equals x squared plus 8x. And then I'm going to leave the k in. I'm going to put plus k. And then what you can do, which is really cool with Desmos, is you can hit add slider. So this is really cool because it allows you to like drag this and then you can like animate it basically. So pretty much what the question's asking is, when does this system have no solution? It's going to be when this parabola never touches this line. So basically when it's above the line. But if you notice here, I can't move it above the line. So I'm going to show you what to do if this happens in Desmos. You're going to just have to change the range. So let me change the range from like 0 to 100. So I have a lot more room to play with. Now, see, I can move it up and down way more now that I changed the range. But anyways, we have to go to like exactly the moment where it touches here, let's really zoom in. Yeah, here looks like that's the moment it touches. And then the question asks for an integer k, so then we just got to go up one more, and then that will be our answer. So if that didn't make sense, just leave me in the a thing in the comments and I can address it a little better. But basically, this is the smallest integer that it will have no solution, because you see these all have no solution. 14 is the smallest integer, because if I go to 13, guess what? That has a solution. So that's why 14 is the answer. So another question they really like to ask a lot is these min-max questions. And honestly, if you get one of these, you should be happy because they're really easy. So just like a lot of the questions we've done before, you're just going to type in the equation as it comes. So x minus 10 times x plus 13. And that will form a parabola, because this is a parabola in factored form, if that looks familiar from your algebra class. And then we're just asked to find what value of x it reaches its minimum. So you can see that the minimum will be down here. And Desmos will make the minimum a point when you graph a parabola. So the x value is going to be negative 1.5, or in fractional form, that'll just be d, which will be our answer. So this right here is a vertex form and context problem. If you're not familiar with vertex form, just go check out my other quadratic video. But anyways, what we're told here is we have this seal that has a max depth of 302.4 meters when it jumps into the water after 6 minutes of diving, basically, and that it reaches the surface at 12 minutes, and then we're asked to find the depth of the seal at 10 minutes. So basically what's going on here is this is some sort of parabola that looks like this, right? And its max point right here, the vertex, is 6,302.4, and we're asked to find what the depth will be at 10. So 10 will be like somewhere here, and we have to find that, so we have to make an equation for it and then just plug 10 into the equation. So how do we make this equation? Well, we plug it into our vertex form formula. So it's going to open downwards, so let's put a negative sign, and then we're going to have a constant in front. We'll call it a times t minus 6, because that's the x value of the vertex, squared, and then plus 302.4. And then now that we have that, we can go do this in Desmos. So after I type this out in Desmos, we're going to hit add slider again, and then let's really zoom in on this. So remember, we're told that at 12 right here, it will hit 0. So we just have to drag the slider around until we get to 12. So it looks like it's going to be right here. Yes, at exactly a equals 8.4. And then now check this out. So we're asked to find what the value is at x equals 10. So all we have to do is just put in x equals 10, and then it'll make this horizontal line, and then we just see where it intersects the thing. So it's going to intersect at 10, 168. So 168 will be our answer. So that problem looks super intimidating, but with a couple Desmos hacks, it's actually really easy. Alternatively, if you don't feel comfortable doing it this way, just look at this right here and just plug in 10 into that after you substitute the 8.4 in. You could do it that way, but I think it's just easy to look at the graph and get the answer that way. Occasionally, College Board will like to throw these median questions at you. All you have to do is just type in the word median and then parentheses, and then just type in the data set as it comes. So yeah, after doing this, it's going to spit out a median of 79, so these are pretty easy. And then if the question asks for, let's say, the average or the mean, you could also find that pretty easily using the mean keyword. So yeah, these are really easy if these happen to pop up on your SAT. So now you know everything you need to know for Desmos on the SAT. It's just a matter of applying it. That's why I went ahead and created this Desmos guide. I created a list of 5 practice problems that you can do. You can get the link to this in the description below. All you have to do is join my free school community, and then you can download this. This will really help cement your understanding and get some high quality practice with Desmos, so you're ready to use it on real problems that will show up on your SAT. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in future videos.